settled in. We got about almost 3 hours before the end of the light. I've hunted this spot before, but I can't recall if I hunted it last year, because it's changed quite a bit from what I last remember. This little bottom here in front of me was just basically tall green grass, and I used to hunt over there across the way in those tree line, in that tree line over there, and the deer would normally come out of the woods or come across the prairie here and work their way through this little bottom. Well, this year there's some willow trees growing in there, lots of deer trails. Saw some fresh rubs. There's one right here below me, and there's a deer bed right there that looks like it's being used. I could smell a deer scent when I was walking in here. I didn't jump any deer, so I was either smelling one that's bedded upwind quite a ways, or either I just smelled the ground scent where the deer had left it from bedding here earlier. Probably got up during the heat of the day and moved into the woods. But at any rate, I'm on a mission to fill a tag today. I only have a limited amount of days to hunt before I get swept up into tracking season. And so, by gosh, I'm gonna fill some tags. One deer is just not gonna get me through the season. So deer beware. Just got winded. Had a buck right down here. I guess he was about 20 yards broadside, nibbling on the willows. I guess he caught a little bit of my wind, because while he was eating one, he just all of a sudden stopped, threw his head up, started sniffing, but he was facing that way. And then he had enough and he trotted up the hill, disappeared over here somewhere. I knew this wind was going to be iffy, but my thought was the deer were going to come from my left, and the wind's blowing that way. I'd be able to shoot them before they cut my wind stream. There's really no great wind to hunt, because realistically the deer can come from any direction. And that one apparently came from my right. He was working his trail right here. It wasn't a huge buck, but I was going to shoot him. Oh, you kidding me? I think that was $3. When they left, I saw what looked like 3 bodies go by. I was gonna shoot that guy. They got my wind again. That wind's going right that way. They're just getting enough of it to make them nervous. They finally started working their way back that way, and then went up. I'm guessing they went back into the woods. We still got plenty of light. Might see some more. Well, that's gonna do it. Pretty fun evening though. Had 3 bucks in here for sure, and then I think I saw a 4th one when that second group of 2. They came out early, but I knew I was playing the wind. It was iffy, but I figured the deer would come from this way because when I've hunted across this little field here in that tree, all the deer seem to go this way, except for once I had a doe come out of the woods over there. And my wind was kind of blowing like this, and so I was taking the chance that even if deer came from that way, they would get out here in bow range where I could shoot them before they caught my wind. That almost worked. They were catching my wind out here in front of me, broadside in bow range, but with the camera arm and me trying to position on these deer, and they kept looking my way, sniffing the air, so I couldn't really move. When I finally decided to drop down, when the other deer had moved out of the way, I was going to shoot below the camera arm here, and the one I was going to shoot turned and walked off into the willows, and then they kind of trotted up over the hill there, and it looked like 3 deer went off. Anyway, I know if I come back to this spot, I'm going to have to get more of a wind like this, straight that way. I don't want one in my face because, like I said, deer do tend to come from back behind me and work around this little thing. I was dropping the milkweed earlier, and even though I can feel a steady breeze here, the milkweed would go back here, and this little patch of trees would kill the wind, and it would just drop down there into the willows. And that wasn't good. So it was swirling down there, and they were catching a little whiffs of it. You can see in the video where they started to calm down, and then they must have gotten a fresh whiff, and then all of a sudden they both perked up. And anyway, enough yapping. Get my gear out of the tree here, and we'll try again tomorrow, I guess. Different spot, different day. Hopefully I can make it happen.